The boys are back, and they return to the East Bay with a bunch of road wins. The Athletics won 8-2 on their 10-game road trip, and that has the A's a season-high 6 games over the 500 mark. It truly has been a team effort. Teammates picking each other up as contributions are happening up and down the roster. Tonight, they return home and face the AL Central leading Cleveland Indians for a weekend set. A's and Indians, game 1 of 3, next. Well, it's a big weekend of baseball at the Coliseum. It is also Bark at the Park night here in Oakland, so it should be a fun night. It's Paul Blackburn and Trevor Bauer. That's your pitching matchup for Game 1 of this series. It's the Oakland A's and the Cleveland Indians coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball, along with Ray Fossey. I'm Glenn Kuiper. A's are glad to be back home, but boy, were they good on the road. An 8-2 trip through San Diego, Chicago, Detroit rain. Everything was clicking from the hitters to the pitchers. The defense was pretty good. All in all, it settles on 8-2.
You know, that 8-2 record really looks impressive. A lot of home runs hit. Of course, they had a record 27 consecutive road games with at least one. The one thing I liked, though, was the pitching. The fact that so many guys went on the disabled list, but if the A's got the lead, the back end of the bullpen was outstanding. You look what they did, interchangeable parts towards the back end. If a starter can go 6 now, the back end of the bullpen can complete the deal, and the A's can win a lot of ball games. All
right, we get our first look at the Cleveland Indians. They got a huge lead in the AL Central, so it looks like they're going to win this division, even though we're not even at the All-Star break yet. But they got a pretty good offense as well. They're led by Jose Ramirez. For more on that, let's head downstairs to our good friend, Dallas Braden. Dallas, this guy can hit.
He can absolutely rake. There is no denying that. When you think about power from the Cleveland Indians, you think Edwin and his parent, Eddie Encarnacion. Not so much. Joe Ram, Jose Ramirez, the Cleveland Indians MVP candidate. 23 home runs on the season. That's good for second across baseball. 4th in WAR. That's behind Mike Trout and a couple of other guys that you're used to seeing on those lists. But this is a man who is on an absolute tear right now for the Cleveland Indians.
All right, so that is Jose Ramirez. We'll keep an eye on him. And again, Blackburn and Bauer is the pitching matchup, and it is Game 1 of a 3-game series. Bark at the Park. Those fellas are going to have a good time. So are we. A's and Indians coming up. We'll have lineups and first pitch right after this.
California is brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares. No hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $5.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box.
Well, see, Ray, when you've won 4 in a row and you're coming home from a great road trip, whoever's been bringing the lineup card out, they keep doing it. It's Edwin Jackson right now. He's hot.
He's pitching ball.
Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. Beautiful night, 65 degrees. It's Bark at the Park night, so there's a whole bunch of dogs in the building, and they're going to get comfortable and enjoy tonight's ball game. Let's take a look at the lineup for the visiting Cleveland Indians. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and it's a pretty good lineup. It starts with Francisco Lindor, then Michael Brantley, Jose Ramirez having a terrific season. Edwin Encarnacion is the cleanup hitter. Yonder Alonso, former A, he's having a good season in his first year in Cleveland. And it's Chisenhall, Kipnis, Perez, and Naquin. That's the Cleveland Indians starting lineup.
Well, Blackburn won to start last year against the Cleveland Indians. That was here, no decision. And of course, as we think back to his last game in Chicago, he was near perfect, except for one infield hit in the first 4 innings, but then imploded. That was it. Kind of ran out of gas a little bit, according to the pitching coach. But well, Blackburn back home and trying to get the A's started on the right foot in the short 5-game homestand.
Here's the defense for the Athletics. Matt Joyce is in left, Dustin Fowler in center, Stephen Piscotty is in right. Lowry, Simeon, Barreto, and Olsen on the infield with Jonathan Lucroy doing the catching. So the A's back home.
Kuiper, are you telling me that there's superstition in baseball?
Nah.
Huh?
Nah. Well, Bob Melvin's not superstitious at all.
I was going to say, why am I wearing the same pair of underwear since they left for the road then, guys?
Issues, Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm worried about you. We missed you, though. We're glad you're back with us.
Good to be back.
First pitch of the game to Francisco Lindor is down around the knees for a strike. Lance Barrett will call balls and strikes. Tony Randazzo at first, John Lipka at second, and that's Bill Welke. He's the crew chief, and he's down at third. Got to be ready with Blackburn. He likes to rock and fire, which is a good thing.
This guy's pretty good. This top of the lineup, very, very good lineup for the Cleveland Indians, especially the top. So quite a challenge for Paul Blackburn tonight against the Cleveland Indians.
There's the sun field is right field. A little bit of sun in center for Fowler, but he should be okay. But it's always a little bit tough on the right fielder for the first couple innings of night games here at the Coliseum, and that's why. 3-1 pitch is a high strike. Lindor was going to head to first.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive and good strike from Paul Blackburn, because this guy has 19 home runs as a leadoff hitter. That's pretty impressive, too.
Pitch cast brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. And that's hit into right field, and that's a base hit for Francisco Lindor.
Location is going to be paramount for Blackburn. He's done a good job of being able to get to the inside part of the plate, and frankly, that's what he's going to have to continue to do. Works 92-mile-an-hour heater down that one-seamer, and Lindor's just able to keep the hands back, drop the head, and shoot that thing into right field.
Francisco Lindor, a career .297 hitter. Right here at the Coliseum. He's aboard, and here's Michael Brantley. Lindor with a good jump. Lucroy's throw is in time. Head first slide by Lindor. He's out. And that's the first out of the ball game.
You talk about a quick release. Unbelievable. Jonathan Lucroy, as he talked about in Detroit, he said, I may not have the strongest arm, but I have a quick release. This is all about the quick release. Watch how quickly he comes out and fires a perfect strike to Marcus Semien. Head first slide. He held onto the ball. Look at this backhand. And Marcus Semien.
Oh,
yeah. That's big time.
He hit his Simeon's knee, and Lindor's walking off slowly. And Harry Francona came out, and he's talking to the home plate umpire, Lance Barrett. I'm not exactly sure what he's talking to him about.
A challenge?
You can see, I could see as Lindor was walking back over here, looks like he might have some blood on his lip. That's what they're going to take a look at Lindor for. But
oh, man.
Yeah, I'm with you, Foss. Nothing to challenge here.
No, he got him in the left hand as he was sliding in. That's a strong, quick throw by Jonathan Lucroy, and for Marcus Semien staying in there. And there's your head first slide. You go in feet first, those spikes are a little bit different than just the bare hand going in. That's a great start to a ball game to have that kind of a release.
So let's hope Lindor's okay as he walks slowly off the field.
Well, we've talked about, Kat, there are some guys who just will never ever slide head first into any bases, and especially in a stolen base. And you know, Lindor, very good speed, got a great jump. It was just a quick release by Jonathan Lucroy that helped get the out. But by sliding head first, he's already down in that motion just to drop down and slide. That's why Ricky was so great. Because, I mean, he had a sprinter speed, low to the ground. And that was it right there, and he just continued with that same height right there, and then went, as he said, it's like landing an airplane. And all those stolen bases landing on his chest.
And Foss, you just take a look here. Right as he's about to take off, you can see him start to dive, as you said, start to launch himself. It's just a natural reaction.
3-2 now to Michael Brantley. That was you got a good jump. He's very fast, and Lucroy just made another great throw.
And you notice also his head was down. He was straight stealing all the way, and it was Brantley taking the pitch for him, which is hard for a left-handed hitter, and especially with a base runner with a green light.
Tap foul at the plate, and did that come up and hit Brantley? I think it did.
He doesn't need any more injuries. I mean, got him in the side, maybe his shoulder first before it got him in the side, but also it was the non-ear flap side. You know, you think about Jed Lowry wearing double ear flap. He's a switch hitter, but that's single ear flap. You get the other side, and if you're a base stealer, you want both sides protected.
3-2 pitch to Brantley. He's bounced towards second. Barreto charges. He's got it. Underhands to first. So 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Well, remember tonight, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. There's Trevor Bauer. He will start tonight for the Indians. Paul Blackburn for the A's. And here's Jose Ramirez. We talked about him in the open of our show, having another terrific season. What a player this guy has become. 291, 23 homers, and 52 runs batted in.
I'd say he's going to be in Washington, D.C. Pretty good chance.
Yeah.
Representing the Indians with the All-Star. But Terry Francona asked him about Francisco Lindor, and he said, yes, he's a great player. He's a very personable young man. He said, but the guy who plays next to him is off the charts, and that's this guy right here, Jose Ramirez. You think about, I mean, he's gone back and forth. Kipnis back at second. There's Tito Francona. Brad Mills, his bench coach, to his right, longtime friends, and Carl Willis also taking over as a pitching coach.
Good pitch inside corner, and the count is even at 2-2.
Might wonder about Mickey Callaway, who was a pitching coach. He now is managing the Mets.
Got a pretty good job.
Yeah. All he did for the first 12 games.
Yeah, that's true. Not an easy place to manage.
Speaking of the Mets, also, we want to wish our good friend and former athletic general manager, Sandy Alderson, who is having some health issues. And
we're thinking about it.
Absolutely. Hope the best for him.
And that hit Ramirez. Just got a piece of him.
Well, you think of this inning with the caught stealing. And this ball just rests. And Ramirez, nobody wants to get hit, especially in that area of the hands, but took it anyway.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. So a 2-out base runner. Here's Edwin Encarnacion, the designated hitter.
You know, I think there are times, and this may be one, that you forget about the pitch count and you look at the pitcher, because Paul Blackburn, maybe it's taken him this inning, and he's thrown 20 pitches already, 3-2 count on both first two hitters, hits the third hitter, and maybe just trying to get to the point of having success. And it may take him a few pitches to do that.
Encarnacion, 19 home runs, 54 RBIs, and a .235 batting average.
For Paul Blackburn, you're looking to try to execute a pitch to one side of the plate or the other, create some sort of momentum for yourself. And to your point, boss, go into this next inning, not to put the cart before the horse, but to go into that next inning having built off something.
Ramirez is also a base stealer. He's got 13, and he's got a huge lead. From our vantage point, it looks like he's got a big lead, but Dallas, you are staring right up the first base line, so I just realized you probably have the best view of whether a guy gets a big lead. It looks like he's got a huge lead.
Yeah, and what I do from down here is I look to see where they're splitting the difference of that cut of the grass, and right now it's down center of body line, 2/3 of the body line now. This is qualified as a big lead in my opinion.
A little bit inside, so 2-1 to Encarnacion.
Because you think about the edge of the cut of the grass there on the cutout at first base to the edge, that's about roughly 12 feet or so. Anything beyond that, now you're thinking 13, 14-foot territory, and he's a prime suspect for a pick.
And he goes, and the pitch is low, and Ramirez had that one stolen right away. He got a good jump, and he had that big lead. So Ramirez with a stolen base.
A little bit different than the transfer, but the big lead, like you said, Dallas, and again, like Lindor, head down, and a breaking ball, and look, slipped on home plate, which is always something that the catcher never wants to do. Watch as he takes his stride, and actually slipped before. You're right. Just looked like from the center field that he got to plate, but it was right in front of it. Get the longer cleats out.
That's right, football cleats. So runner in scoring position, 3-1 the count to Encarnacion. And he hits one in the air, foul territory. Lowry waiting. Got it. So a dangerous hitter is retired, and a runner is stranded for the Indians in the top of the first. Interesting, Ray. That is Bill Welke, the crew chief. He is obviously talking to the guys back in New York, and we're just not sure what it's about. And remember, Terry Francona chatted with him just a little bit ago, so we'll see. Here's the A's lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fowler, Joyce, Lowry, Davis, Olson, Piscotty, Simeon, Lucroy, and Barreto.
Trevor Bauer is a very good pitcher, great curveball. He also likes to play with drones. Sometimes ends up hurt. A lot of blood on his hand when he tries to pitch. But he's a good pitcher, and I think he's gotten over that. Maybe going to save it, but he has a mixture of pitches, but really his curveball is a pitch that he likes to go to, as he'll throw a higher percentage of time. He'll throw the curveball, A's will see how they fare against him. First of 6 against the Tribe. 3 here, 3 in Cleveland next weekend.
Bauer's first pitch to Fowler is a fastball 92 miles an hour in for a strike. Fowler, Joyce, and Lowry here in the bottom of the first.
I think anytime a pitcher throws his fastball less than 50% of the time, it says a lot about his other pitches.
I read a great article about Bauer last week, and he's always been a pretty good pitcher, but he's been really good this year. And it sounded like he was always a fastball, had that big curve, right? But it sounds like now he's throwing a slider more and a changeup more. So really, he's gone from being basically a 2-pitch guy to almost a 4-pitch guy. Well, I mean, you throw a slider 14% of the time. That's a fair amount.
Yeah.
That one looped foul territory. Ramirez, and he dropped it.
Flank. That's called right in the middle of the pocket. And you can see it hop out, bounce out. Watch this. Boing. And that's the hard is like hitting the middle of your palm of your hand, and it tried to go up into the webbing, but it just squirted out. But that had to hit very hard in the middle of the glove.
And Fowler on 1-2 swings and misses, so the air doesn't do any damage for Bauer. Indians defense has Brantley, Naquin, Chisenhall in the outfield, Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, Alonso in the infield, and Roberto Perez as your catcher.
You know, Bauer did exactly what a pitcher should do in the case of an error. Should be an easy out with a fly ball dropped by Ramirez. So what does he do? Next pitch, bump the fastball up a little bit, got a strikeout. No excuses, just get the job done.
So here's Joyce. So Dallas, what do you got on Bauer? Has he added to his repertoire?
Well, there's no doubt that he's added to his repertoire, but the question you ask yourself is how has he gone about it? And there's been a lot of talk. There's a name, Driveline Baseball, that is ultimately synonymous at this point with Trevor Bauer, and that's where he does a lot of his work. Not a big bullpen guy necessarily, pitch design. And when I talk about pitch design, we're talking about cameras, high-speed cameras, instant feedback, things that you can sort of document and graph, and you gain instant results. And that's the path that Trevor Bauer has traveled to become the pitcher we see in front of us today.
So using the new technology,
absolutely,
there's a lot of it.
Absolutely, because what it enables guys to do is go back and in your mind, Foss, you think about, you take a good swing, you want to log that to memory and remember what that felt like. Well, now you've got the visual aid to double up on.
Alonso has it. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. He was out here early, and he does this before all of his starts.
Yep, that's the body blade. And this helps stabilization of the shoulder and the scapula. Obviously, scapular retraction is very important to a pitcher, the ability to load the arm.
I think I had scapular retraction one time, and it just didn't feel great. Well, whatever he's doing, it's working.
He's also known to throw line to line, stretch it out.
He's 4th in the league in ERA, 6th in the league in innings pitched, and 3rd in the league in strikeouts. Trevor Bauer.
Foss, you want to talk about stretching it out? At least 100 pitches in the last 16 starts for Trevor Bauer. That is the longest active streak in baseball.
Well, you think about the Cleveland Indians staff, Trevor Bauer's name comes up, but not at the top of the list, because there are other guys that you think about first, but Bauer has done an exceptional job.
Good pitch there, right in the inside corner. But the A's swinging the bats well. A lot of confidence after the road trip, and boy, it would be a confidence boost again to have a good series this weekend. Bauer scoops it up, underhands to first, and Trevor Bauer with a couple of ground outs and a strikeout in the bottom of the first. No score after 1 from Oakland. Indians will have Alonso, Chisenhall, and Kipnis against Paul Blackburn. Just wanted to remind everybody that in the third inning, Ray, A's President Dave Kaval is going to join us. Talk about what he's been up to lately. He's been busy.
Always is.
Yep. First pitch to Alonso is a high strike. Game we'll keep an eye on tonight. The Royals and the Mariners up in Seattle. One is lined right to Marcus Semien, who is playing right behind second base, so the shift works.
Isn't it amazing? And June the 29th, you're talking about paying attention to the scores.
Sure.
That's great.
That's all we asked for in spring training.
That's great.
And put that out-of-town scoreboard to use.
Yeah. No score, Royals Mariners in the second inning. That's Kennedy for Kansas City, Gonzalez for Seattle, and the Mariners, just like the A's, sitting on a 4-game winning streak.
So that's also the Angels have already won. They did that in Baltimore. So
Yep.
that's another team that A's have a couple of game lead on them. It's nice to see the A's in third at this point.
Astros lost tonight 3-2. Maybe the goodies on all those scores a little bit later on. So those are the winning percentages in June in the American League, and the A's are on the list. They're 5th. All the big boys: Astros, Yankees, Mariners, Red Sox, A's, and Indians. And really, if you think about it, the reality is, if you throw the Angels on that list, that those are the teams that are competing for the postseason. It's really the haves and have-nots in the American League.
Right.
It's a little more wide open in the National League. There's a whole bunch of powerhouses in the American League, as Lonnie Chisenhall has a 1-out hit.
Lonnie Baseball, as he's affectionately known in Cleveland as. See Blackburn again back to that one-seamer. Got Luke set up outside trying to get that ground ball. He jerks this fastball to the inside part, never makes its way back over. Lonnie Baseball dropping head.
So here's Jason Kipnis. So the A's trailing the Mariners for second place by 7 games. So that is why we are keeping a little bit closer eye on the Mariners now. A's and the Mariners still play 10 times this year, but they won't play again until the middle of August, so it'll be a while before we see Seattle. Who knows? A bunch of trades made by that time. Kipnis takes a strike. How have the A's done against the different divisions in the American League? 14-4. Very good against the East. 13-7. Still those struggles against the AL West. Of course, the AL Central, the A's just got done with the White Sox and Tigers, and the A's did pretty good damage there, so that helped get that record to 14-4.
Yeah, that's a good point, because nothing against the Tigers and the White Sox. However, Indians are a little bit better.
A little bit.
And that's why the challenge this weekend, challenge next weekend, downtown Cleveland for the Athletics. Padres in between. So a lot of baseball back-to-back weekends against Cleveland.
1-2 pitch. Kipnis pops a foul back.
We talk a lot about the need to have success in the division as well. You think about the AL West, though, and what's that comprised of. You've got Dallas Keuchel, Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, Lance McCullers, Charlie Morton, couple of decent arms out there in Houston. You think about Wade LeBlanc and the way that he's come on for the Seattle Mariners, obviously Paxton, the success he's had. Some tall tasks in your own division.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the AL West is a very, very good division, so it's easy to say, hey, you need to play better within your division, but it's not that easy.
It's not as easy sledding as one might think. You know, you think about Texas and the struggles they've had. They've got a guy by the name of Cole Hamels out there, but again, at the top, that Houston staff, the way that Seattle has pitched this season, tough tickets.
2-2 to Kipnis. Slaps it foul. Kipnis at 218, 7 homers, 33 RBI, so he's struggling some, the veteran second baseman.
Here with 2 strikes, this is where Paul has been good. A chase rate of 56.5% with 2 strikes over the last 30 days. And what we've kind of seen from Blackburn is working the heater to the inside. He has Foss. He's been up early on in the game, and I wonder if that might be something he's paid attention to, and maybe it's a good time to start working in that curveball, change a little eye level.
Well, Angels guy brings a glove. The A's fan, his cap. Glove 1.
I'm laughing because our very fine producer, Delaire Lewis, just said, bad uni, good catch.
Yeah.
But you know what? He can come by anytime.
Yeah. Well, he'll definitely be here about 9-10 times when the Angels are here with that jersey. Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, is happy. He's wearing that alternate red jersey.
2-2 pitch. Little pop-up. Barretto's going to have to hustle. So is Piscotti, and it's going to fall. So Chisenhall goes to second and stops there. You could just tell by the trajectory coming off the bat that it was going to be a tough play for everybody involved, and it just dropped in between Piscotti and Barretto.
You see Piscotti and Barretto. Barretto, the sprint, he didn't even bother with Piscotti. He just figured out if anybody's ball, it's going to be mine. He was all by himself, and just no chance even with his speed to get to it. Good thing about this, 1 out versus 2. So Chisenhall had to wait just in case, so he's only going to get 90 feet. Otherwise, he'd be at least third, maybe even would have sent him.
So here's Roberto Perez, the 8th place hitter for the Indians. First pitch to Perez, and he tried to hold up, and he did. Perez at 144 with a home run. Really known more for his defense.
He's an outstanding defensive catcher, and he and Yan Gomes share the duties. And for Terry Francona to catch Perez, knowing that he can't do the job behind the plate, he's also got some pop in his bat, as he showed in the World Series a couple years ago. But defensively, very quiet behind the plate, blocks balls well. It's Terry Francona. Tito. His father unfortunately passed away in February, so son Tito, Terry going by Tito, now will be the Tito in the family.
Breaking ball, and Perez went around. ERA by inning last year and this year for Paul Blackburn. When it was all said and done, he had a pretty good time in the big leagues last year till he was hit in the hand. This year it's been a little bit more of a struggle for him. And the second inning has been a struggle, and that's where we are at. Last year he finished his 10 starts with a 3-1 record and a 3.22 ERA, and then he got hit in the hand on the 23rd of August, and that was it.
Well, and Foss, I think you made a great point about him, 20+ pitches early on in the first inning, and still maybe, just needing to settle down. And maybe that's the thing. And those numbers, I think, reflect his ability to get comfortable early last year. Maybe not so much the case this year, but as he continues to roll and get a feel, things can work out.
But we also said in Chicago, Ray, that if you could have used a conservative approach with Blackburn this year, that the start in Chicago may have been his first start. All the starts before that would have been rehab starts.
Yeah,
but the A's needed it.
Yeah, so many injuries to the starting staff, and yeah, those guys had to make the decision. Forget about the rehab. Put the inning on. Let's pitch here.
Up the middle, could be 2. Marcus has it, steps on the bag, throws to first, double play. So that will do it for the Indians. Bottom of the second coming up. Chris Davis to lead it off. that one. I like that one. I like it.
Got a couple dachshunds, got a retriever, you got a corgi back there.
Relaxing. Hey, leave me alone, man. I was comfortable. Bark at the park. Always a popular night.
I wonder if they had an extra seat and decided to invite their dog.
Maybe.
That 3-seat with the dog in the middle. Always a fun night, especially for Joe McCarthy. As long as his brother-in-law comes up and says hello. Mr. Hines, right? He's the man in charge of this event tonight. Katie hits the same ball hit in San Diego to start the last road trip. A's are up early. I think as Delaire said, probably the shot that Katie hit in San Diego to the warning track right center to the wall, actually. First one he hit one that hard that far that didn't go out.
So 3-1 to Davis. Olsen to follow, and then Piscotty. How about that? 48 at bats since his last home run.
14.
Early.
Yeah.
Even with that, he is still tied for 5th in the American League in home runs and 7th in RBIs. So
he's going up against Trevor Bauer, who hasn't surrendered a home run in his last 32 innings pitched.
Another slider.
Grounded toward first. Alonso has it. So that tells you right there how Bauer feels about his curveball and slider.
Well, and he knows also, Perez knows, with Chris Davis, with his approach. And he went 3-0, then a fastball and a slider. And then outside, 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 slider, slider, slider. Even that slider might have been off the plate. Now let's talk about the runner at first base split in the cutout. Well, same with Perez behind the plate. Split the outside part of the plate. Target was the middle of his chest to the outside. And then slider looked good. Swing off the end of the bat. So I think more catchers, if they split the outside part of the plate, they just sit there and call the pitch. They don't have to move. Just put their glove up.
All right, this is a little bit what we're talking about. Slider usage by season. Strike percentage up. Percentage of strikeouts up by a lot. I mean, look at that.
Well, that's what happens when you show the other team that you can command this pitch for strikes in the zone, and command a byproduct is being able to move that pitch where you want. Now you can expand the strike zone. Swing and misses galore.
Man. So that is, again, that's the slider we're talking about, and that's just a pitch he did not use nearly as much in his career up until this year.
And again, guys, we talked about pitch design. He actually took note of Adam Ottavino, man, who's striking out the world these days with his slider. And he said, you know what, I want something that kind of resembles that. Based on the results Ottavino is yielding right now with that, I want one of those. I want that club in my bag.
That one bounced fair down the third base line. And Matt Olson is going to have himself an emergency swing double, and he'll take it. He wants to smile, but he's not going to. It's a thing of beauty.
Well, yeah, you can see Bauer right here creeping on the inside part of the plate, trying to bring that two-seamer back over the front door. And Matty O pulls the hands in, and you said it, Kipe, an emergency hack. Hit that button, get off me, baseball. It's all right, it's a double in the book, boys.
Dave Bauer has had a very good two-seam fastball front hip to the left-handers, but that one didn't break as much, but close enough that Olsen thought he had to swing, and it was an emergency nice swing, especially with the shift.
So here's Piscotty, runner in scoring position for the A's. Piscotty at 253, 7 homers, and 33 runs batted in.
I think the Bauer is using the slider and use it to left-handers, whether it's back door or front door or to the back foot. And with the two-seam fastball, bringing the back plus the hard slider to the back foot. Pretty good combination.
Piscotti had a good road trip. In the 10 games, he was 11 for 34 with 3 homers and 3 doubles. He scored 10 runs. And of course, maybe the biggest hit of the road trip.
Absolutely.
It was the first game of the trip. Down 2 strikes, 2 outs, 9th inning in San Diego, and he hits a home run to tie it against a terrific closer. And that's how the road trip started.
National League reliever of the month of May was Hand. Tried in the American League. Tried to get the save and blown save. You're right. And especially with the first swing breaking ball. And then he goes 2-2 fastball and it was crushed. Oh, wow.
Stephen Piscotti. All right.
Oh, really stretching it there.
All right, now we got to keep an eye on the scoreboard a little bit.
You do that.
Grounded to the right side. Kipnis drops it, picks it up with his glove, and throws to first.
And the 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite A's are represented on this year's squad by voting at athletics.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game is presented by MasterCard July the 17th live on Fox. Trevino, how about him? He might be an All-Star someday. He's happy right now just to pitch effectively in the 8th and or the 9th inning, whichever it might be.
Marcus Semien steps up for the first time. Marcus at 248, 7 homers, 30 RBIs. He's got a runner at third and 2 outs. Line drive, base hit left field, and the A's take the lead. Huge 2-out hit by Marcus Semien, 1-0 Athletics.
Hanging breaking ball, Marcus Semien all over it, stayed back nicely, and it was a great job of hitting. And there's the Uncle Charlie stayed up, and Marcus almost like he knew it was coming. Big rotation, stayed up, Marcus stayed back, and head down, base hit. So welcome home, Marcus Semien. And a double. Marcus Semien brings him in, nothing better than a 2-out run batted in. Now Matt Olson can get in the dugout and smile. It's a big hit. I always love to see those.
Here's Lucroy at a good swing at the first pitch he sees from Bauer. So for Marcus Semien, his 31st run batted in of the year. Lucroy was 8 for 24 in the road trip. Big curve, drops low.
Got to see 2 very good catchers and blocking balls in the dirt tonight. And Jonathan Lucroy, the A's, we get a chance to see him every day. And Perez for the Indians just blocked a curveball. First time I've seen a chest protector with a name on it and the number. It's pretty good. It's true. Perez 55. And that big old swoosh right in the middle.
Outside corner. Bauer gets the call, and it's 1-2. So 1-out double by Olson, 2-out single by Semien to give the A's the lead.
You watch Perez after he gives a sign. Jonathan Lucroy, you saw he had his wrist was bandaged, and he said he knew he should have been doing exactly what Perez is doing, but he did not in the particular time he got hit. Watch what Perez does with his right hand as he sets up. See, it's close, but kind of protected by his glove.
A little bit.
But the backhand, you keep your throwing hand just kind of relaxed. So if a foul ball happens to hit it, it will not affect you that much. He's dangerously close, though, to the batter. Josh Reddick must be looking and saying, I can get him.
I'll get him.
He put the catcher's mitt out that close to that side shot, which is great. Shows how close he was to the swing. Of course, with a hitter, Reddick just happens to be one that goes back and then forward. Most guys go straight towards the ball. And as a result, you can put your catcher's mitt up and not worry about catcher's interference. Teammates talking, probably a little bit anyway. Yonder Alonso, down with the Tribe, signed in the offseason. Good sign for him. One of the few or several who signed early, got pretty good contracts.
2 years, $16 million. That's a pretty good deal for Yonder.
Terry Francona mentioned about losing Carlos Santana. They needed a big bat, left-handed bat. They got it in Alonso. Of course, we saw him last year hitting home runs. Terry Francona talked about his defense, talked about his offense, and all of a sudden, the guy never hit more than 9 in 1 year. Off the charts.
Year and a half with the Athletics.
And a great story. Coming over from Cuba and making it here. And a good story.
Well, if you're the Indians, I mean, what did Santana get? 60?
Yeah. So you saved a few.
Yeah. Carlos Santana is a very good player. Is he that much above and beyond what Yonder Alonso has really become the last couple of years?
No, not 34 million.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And more power to Santana.
So
go to the free agent market. Philly signed him, but you know, once he went, then the Indians had to go a different direction. They got Yonder Alonso, and you know, everybody talked about his defensive so-so. I've always thought he's a good defending first baseman.
Yonder?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, there are people saying, "Oh, he's declined." Of course, the metrics, whatever. But I think he's been outstanding, just like Hosmer. But
I'm going to go with the eyeball test there.
I agree, 100%. Yeah. No, he's always been good around the bag. At least he was with the A's when we saw him.
And now 3-2.
See, there's a good scouting report by the A's. Darren Bush, the A's hitting coach, probably talking about the chase slider that our election show. There is Darren Bush, longtime hitting coach, and doing a great job with the A's. But you know, those are the reports you think about. Hey, if you have 2 strikes, he's going to try to get you to chase, recognize the spin, know it's out of the strike zone. Going to go fastball, maybe 2-seamer, try to bring it back door.
Runner goes, and the ball's fouled.
There's a case he overthrew the fastball where he didn't get a lot of movement, just a 4-seam fastball.
So the A's making Bauer work this inning.
23, 26 in this inning, 13 in the first.
Simeon will run again. There he goes. Ball's drilled to center. Naquin is there. Wow. He's got it. So Jonathan Lucroy hit it right on the button. A's get a 2-out RBI hit for Marcus Simeon. So after 2 innings here at the Coliseum, 1-0 the A's lead.
back home.
Manager Bob Melvin.
Here with the A's manager, Bob Melvin. Skip, a heck of a road trip, 8-2 for the boys. You find yourself back home. What was the strongest point to take away from that road trip team-wise?
Well, there were a lot of things. One, it was we continued to come back when we were down. Two, everybody was involved, and that's a powerful feeling when everybody gets to contribute in a road trip like that. I mean, 8 wins in 10 games, pretty good.
Now, Paul Blackburn might have had his window for rehab cut a little short out of necessity, frankly. He finds himself back here. Struggled a little bit to put together a couple quality outings back-to-back. What do you want to see tonight from Paulie?
Well, I'd like to see some early pitch contact. They're found some pitches off and make them work a little bit, but, you know, we're trying to keep them out there for a while. We need our starters to go a little bit longer right now, so trying to stay off the barrel of the bat, hopefully early in the count.
Skip, appreciate your time. Thanks for it. Guys?
All right, so we always appreciate the manager stopping by. Thought he said a couple things that were interesting, especially about the road trip, that everybody contributed, and that was definitely the case. I mean, it seems like everybody had a big hit somewhere along the line. Bullpen was great. Nakewood is retired. Well, that interview is presented by Xfinity.
Cap, you remember on the road trip starting with Paul Blackburn, first night, as a matter of fact, big home run by Piscotty. 46 pitches, first 2 innings. Settled down in the next 3, and we talked about how that was instrumental in the A's making the comeback. Tonight, 47, first 2. Last start in Chicago, 45 in the first 4. So his pitch count has fluctuated in his last couple of starts, and make it 3 counting this one. But, you know, I just think sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get loose and get going. And the great Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan, I think I remember him telling Mike Maddox, take that pitch counter and get rid of it. look at your pitcher. He'll tell you if he's losing it. And sometimes the pitch count, start looking at 100, whatever, but the guy may take 50 to get loose.
There's an old saying you have. There's 2 things that can tell you just how your pitcher's doing. 1, the baseball. 2, the other team.
That's right. More the other team.
Yeah, I mean, typically when there's a fight at the bat rack, you know it's probably time to get somebody up.
But Dallas, Bob also said he wanted to see more early contact, which is, and listen, you'd like to see early contact from any pitcher on the mound, right? But I think with Blackburn, he's not a strikeout guy. So him getting to 2 strikes, he doesn't maybe have that one just I'm going to strike you out pitch. So he's a guy that you definitely want early contact and get a couple ground ball outs by throwing 2 or 3 pitches.
The ground ball out's the key, because when he is at his best, he has a sinker. He's getting the ground ball outs, and to Bob Melvin's point, he will get early contact with guys hitting and swinging at the first pitch. But there are some clubs who will take a lot of pitches. The Yankees and Red Sox have been noted about 2 teams that always take a lot of pitches regardless, not afraid to get to 2 strike counts. And essentially just wearing down the pitcher.
So 2 away for Michael Brantley. Our next half inning, A's president Dave Kaval's going to join us. Brantley grounded out in the first inning. Michael Brantley finally healthy, and when healthy, he's one of the better all-around players in the league, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. But he started to get healthy last year, and the Indians had a club option on him for $11.5 million, and they picked that up. And he's having a very fine season. Brantley coming in 8th best batting average in the American League at 44 RBIs. Got 18 doubles, high on base percentage.
We talk a lot about length in a lineup, and this is a guy here, Michael Brantley. You slide him right in behind Lindor, right in front of Jose Ramirez, even in front of an Edwin Encarnacion. Now for the pitcher, those become murky waters to try to navigate. See here, Blackburn doing a good job of executing inside. And if you can stay inside and show the umpire that, you know what, I can pitch here for strikes, I can pitch here in off for effect, get him to loosen it up.
And he swings over top a curveball, and that's the first strikeout for Paul Blackburn. Bottom of the third coming up. Dave Kaval coming in. We're joined by A's president Dave Kaval, who was nice enough to bring Root Beer Float. What a guy.
Hey, got to help you guys out here.
Yes.
Keep the energy level high.
And speaking of energy, good weekend here at the ballpark. And there's a lot going on in Sunday's Root Beer Float Day, but all in all, weather's nice. You got a good Indians team here, so it's going to be a good weekend.
Well, also coming off an amazing road trip, 8 wins. You know, the team's playing great. It's the middle of the summer. It's going to be a great weekend.
You want to tell what you did at Old Municipal Stadium when you were just a child and following the tribe?
I was out in the stands. It was me and maybe 200 other people.
That many, huh?
It was a great crowd that day. Right. Exactly.
Not anymore,
That was a
though.
bumper crowd that day. Yeah.
I understand Matt Furrow is going to head back to Cleveland on the next trip, and he's going to get a chance to take a tour of the new stadium downtown.
It's great. Yeah, Jacobs Field, Progressive, what they call it now. Yeah.
How's Sacramento been for you?
It's been great. You know, we're working on legislation to help us with the ballpark to make sure that we can get through the CEQA process and get the stadium built by 2023.
Right.
We've been through 2 committees already, and we're getting great support there. And so it looks good. We'll probably have a vote in August on the assembly floor.
Beautiful.
So that's great news.
Right, so tell us a little bit more about goes on when you go to Sacramento, because I mean it's complicated.
It is.
And I'm reading about it. I'm trying to figure out exactly what you're doing, but I know it is complicated. It's probably complicated for you too.
For everyone, you know, you have to get through these different committees and make sure that you can get your legislation passed and get the support of either state senators or assembly members who are all over the state of California. And I think our message to them is, hey, other teams, the Warriors, the Kings have got similar legislation. We need the same thing to ensure that our team can make sure we can open the stadium by 2023.
Coming up on Sunday's Root Beer Float Day is it's the 19th annual, so it's always fun. We have a good time every year.
It's great
this
time.
Year it's before a day game, and fans love it. And it, you know what I think fans just feel like, you know, they can come and talk to you and talk to the players, and it's just kind of a nice way to hang out.
Well, everyone's so approachable,
yeah.
and I think it's just a great way. The fan base is all fired up. We did one on a day game this time. A lot of people asked for a day game on a weekend.
Yeah, it's good.
And I think that was something that we got that feedback from fans. I heard it at office hours. I heard it on Twitter, and we wanted to make sure we made that happen.
And speaking of that, you seem to follow enough that if somebody makes a suggestion, you're very quick. You, Chris Giles, would make a point of saying, we'll try to make that happen. How important is that from your standpoint to have the interaction of the people contacting whatever method your offices are and following up on that to try to enhance their appearances at the Coliseum?
Well, a lot of times they're the best ideas because people are there, they're smart, we have a knowledgeable fan base, and so when we get those ideas, we try to implement them as quickly as we can or explain maybe the limitations of why we can't. And I think it's been really effective in giving a voice to our fans and making sure that they feel part of everything that we're doing here.
So you must have ideas that pop up and you're thinking, that's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, well, but the thing is, that's the great thing. You got the entire fan base to come up with the ideas, and so it's a great thing.
You know, the nice thing is you just saw the treehouse, which is new here. The Indians in town for the first time. Immediately said, what is that?
Yeah.
And I said, that's the new treehouse. And they explained it.
It's the place to be.
It's the place to be, exactly. Yeah. And it's been wonderful. And, you know, when we do travel, and I know Kipe and I were just back in the Midwest, people say, what about the stadium? What's going to happen to the stadium? What can you tell not only these fans? I mean, you mentioned 2023, but in general, everybody always wants to ask about it.
Yeah.
From your standpoint, what can they hear from you that's going to help them be encouraged about the future of this ball club in the stadium?
I think there are two things. One, the legislation in Sacramento is important because that allows us to stay on track and avoid the lawsuits. And secondly, that, you know, we're making progress every week with the port, with the city, with the county on an economic deal that we hope to announce by the end of the year.
Good.
And that was our target, you know, 18 months ago when we started. And if we can get into that and start the environmental process in January, we can make those dates, which is super important.
And you know what, Dave, what Ray and I would like for you to do is to just draw something up so we can just hand that to people. Because we do every single
like frequently asked questions.
The other announcers,
that's all they want to ask.
The other announcers will always ask us what's going on with the ballpark, because I think they want to talk about it.
Yeah.
They want the information as well, and we tell them what we know. And basically say, hey, we all got our fingers crossed and we think it's going to happen. You just got to be patient.
Well, this is as far as we've ever been, the momentum that we have, the support from the city and the county and everyone. So, you know, we're pleased with the progress we've made. You got to take it, you know, brick by brick in order to build it and get the support. But it's nice to see the momentum starting.
And you know, the one thing the fans hear, your fans are saying, what about these young players? How much is the stadium going to impact the decision for these players to say, okay, there's going to be a new home for the Athletics?
Critical. Yeah. That's one of the major selling points to be here, to build a championship and a contending club to win more World Series. More. 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever it takes.
All right, Dave, thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
We appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me,
You're a
guys.
busy man, so
enjoy.
Dallas Braden wants to rip your float.
Thanks for
I'll get him one.
Float.
Enjoy.
Enjoy. And go up and put some seats down like you did at Municipal Stadium.
I'll do it.
Photos of their best smiles. Action.
Your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Hang in there, buddy. I don't think he signed up for that. 1-0 the A's lead, top of the fourth inning. A's got an RBI single from Marcus Semien in the second for the only run in the game. Paul Blackburn's been good so far. 3 hits, got a strikeout. Got to get past that 4th inning. Remember, he was pretty good in Chicago.
Yeah. Start there.
So he strikes out Ramirez, who lets the bat go.
You know, this is almost like he started in San Diego, where he struggled in the first 2 innings, pitch count wise, gave up a couple of runs, but settled down the next 3. The bullpen took over, but Ramirez, a huge swing, and there goes the bat. Kind of held on with a pine tar. Look out, Mr. Lance Barrett, right behind him.
And here's Encarnacion and a strike in the inside corner. Mitch Haniger has just hit a 2-run homer for the Seattle Mariners, his 17th of the year, and Seattle has a 2-0 lead in the 4th inning over the Royals. Mitch Haniger, I think he's going to be an all-star.
Yes,
wow.
He has been against the A's.
Hit hard, diving play. Simeon's got it. His throw to first, dug out by Olsen. What a play!
Another outstanding effort by Marcus Semien here, ranging to his left. Has to do a tremendous job just to get to this ball, but an effort to knock it down. This ball is behind him. He doesn't gather it cleanly, but the athleticism of Marcus Semien allows him to get up, make a throw over to first, and who better on the backside to help you out than Matt Olson, digging it out of the dirt. Great play on both ends.
It's interesting. He had a similar play in Chicago. That was the only hit that was given up with Paul Blackburn on the mound. This time, appreciated it. Tried to throw as he did in Chicago, but this time he had to get up, gets a lot more on the throw from his feet, standing upright, versus the play he made against the Royals when he threw from his knees to get the runner at the plate. But I mean, he's got a strong arm, and that's why he moves over to the right side on the shift, playing deeper in right field.
3-0 now to Yonder Alonso. With the count changing, you see the shift changing. Lowry, who's playing third base, now moves over to the right side of second base. There's reasons for all that. And a 4-pitch walk to Yonder Alonso, and now Jed will head back the other way. He's going to walk this time.
Get your steps in, Jed.
Yeah.
And the surprising thing about Alonso, who's shown that he could take some pitches. Marcus Semien, the great play after a strikeout to Ramirez. It looked like it's going to be one of those quick innings, and a 4-pitch walk to Alonso. Now back in the stretch and trying to continue to work quickly.
Shallow right. Piscotty went back. Now he comes in, but he's going to get there. And he makes the catch. So 2-on walk does no damage. Bottom of the 4th coming up. refreshing finish yesterday in Detroit. Another good outing for Sean Manaea. He picked up his 8th win. 6 innings, 5 hits, couple of earned runs, couple of strikeouts. He gave up a home run early and then really settled in and didn't give the Tigers much of anything else. So Sean Manaea continues his very solid season. He's had a good month. He's 3-0 in the month of June, and on the season, Manaea 8-6 with a 3.38 ERA. Those are good numbers.
Great thing about Sean Manaea, he learned a lot in the months after his no-hitter in April. He realized that the game is not that easy. He wanted to be perfect. You can't be perfect in this game. Pitches a no-hitter, a lot of excitement. Started thinking too much. Reverted to his old self in the month of April, going with his catcher or catchers, whoever might be catching. Mostly it is Jonathan Lucroy.
Jose Ramirez, a long run. He holds on to this one.
Hey, Jed, welcome back to the Coliseum in the foul territory.
Yeah, that's...
Well, Ramirez, who dropped one of the first inning, says, I'm not going to do this one. I'm going to avoid the mound and close in front, slightly hitting the... Yeah, see him look? Everybody's always fearful of the mound down in play. Cleveland, take a look. See you later. Souvenir for a fan.
Here's Chris Davis. Davis grounded out in the 2nd inning. Olsen will be next. Bauer a little frustrated. He has a little chat with himself. Bauer with a couple of strikeouts. He's allowed just a couple of hits. And now it's 3-0.
Same as his first at bat. Ended up grounding out on a slider to first base.
And he misses up and in. So a 4-pitch walk. So that's the first walk issued by Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer was originally an Arizona Diamondback. He was the 3rd player taken in the 2011 draft by Arizona. And remember, there was a big trade between the Indians, the Diamondbacks, and the Reds. A big 3-team trade. A bunch of big names were moved around, and it ended up Bauer going to the Indians. There was Shin-Soo Choo was in that trade. Didi Gregorius, on and on and on. That was, the trade was in 2012.
Son of an engineer, so not surprised as Dallas talking about the mechanics and all the analytics that he's involved with himself as a pitcher. But you know, there are times that a kid, a rookie, acts a certain way, and evidently it was interpreted a different way in Arizona. And Terry Francona basically said, I don't care what happened over there, he's here, and just let him pitch, let him do his job. And he's been quite successful. Remember the time they were going to put him in the bullpen? He said, nope, I'm going to be a starter.
That's right.
And I mean, it wasn't long. I mean, I think he started the bullpen, but ended up back in the rotation.
He was at UCLA with Garrett Cole. They were teammates, and they don't really get along very well right now. Nasty pitch there, and that is his 3rd strikeout. He was also the Golden Spikes Award winner, which is given to college baseball's top pitcher or player, either one. Andrew Vaughn, young man from Cal, won it this year. How about that? Trevor Bauer won it in 2011, and you look at the other names.
Terry Francona.
Terry Francona,
Arizona.
1980. Bob Horner.
Yeah.
1978.
Big old Bob Horner, but Tito, University of Arizona, still a big alum, goes to a lot of their events. I think he has a home in Tucson. Spends the off season there, and see him attending a lot of the Arizona Wildcats events.
Odabe McDowell.
Well, guys, I think it's important to note that when Trevor showed up after being drafted in Arizona, he showed up with the body blade, as we saw him warming up with earlier, and that kind of rubbed folks the wrong way. This guy's showing up, oh, he's got it all figured out. He has a game plan. This is his first time in professional baseball. and he's going to tell us how to do things, and that can rub guys the wrong way. But really what it was for Trevor Bauer was him having an understanding of what works well for himself, and he just needed somebody to be open-minded about his mode of preparation. And you put all those things together and you find Trevor Bauer pitching extremely well at this point in his career.
Yeah, he is definitely putting it all together, really probably for the first time this year. I mean, he's had some pretty good years in the past, but this is by far his best season. Oh, 1 to Stephen Piscotty.
Interesting thing about that is how a lot of the Japanese-born pitchers come here and they throw every day. They don't rest, and then they have to get acclimated. Matsusaka pitched for the Red Sox, and he wanted to throw it. They said, "You don't do that here." I said, "Well, I did it in Japan, but it's not Japan." But it's.
But the thing is if it works for him, why not let him do it? You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
I mean, all of a sudden you're taking somebody and saying, "Well, you got to do it our way."
I think they only pitch once a week, which is a little different than a 5-man rotation.
A soft line drive right to Kipnis' side. Retired runner stranded. We're through 4 here at the Coliseum on a beautiful night. 1-0 Athletics.
Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Top of the 5th inning, and the A's leading the Indians 1-0 on Bark at the Park night. So Paul Blackburn's been good. He faces Kipnis, Perez, and Naquin, the bottom 3 in the order for Cleveland. Swing and a miss. Good changeup.
I like what we're seeing out of Paulie this second time around here, third time around at times. He's going soft early with the breaking ball, changeup, doubling up there. Keep these guys off balance.
One walk, 2 strikeouts for Blackburn. 73 pitches, so he's got a little different look tonight.
23 pitches the last 2 innings, though, after 47 the first 2. So there's a huge difference in the way he is pitching.
And he strikes out Kipnis. Well, NBC Sports California has compiled the A's top 50 memorable moments in Oakland. Now we want the fans to pick the most memorable moment. It is a season-long promotion. Tonight, Dallas Braden's perfect game in 2010 versus Eric Burns hitting for the cycle in 2003 against the Giants. Fans can vote through our A's Twitter poll. Play that wins advances to face the next memorable moment. So make Make your choice.
I'm chuckling because when Bernsey hit the triple, the center fielder fell down. You see that? that was it. But now that's a nice run.
One and one the count to Roberto Perez. Perez hit into a 6-3 double play. Inside corner, Perez didn't agree. Pitcher strike zone tonight for Lance Barrett, at least it looks like it.
Well, and that's what Lucroy and Blackburn have done a good job of, is exploiting the forgiveness they're receiving.
Come on, Lance, where you going, man? Gosh. That's twice he's given the timeout, and then I'm out of here. Watch this. Where you going? You man, stand back there, man. You call it that late, pitcher might deliver.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's moving, Fonz.
You know it is. Follow the target.
Like old Nuke Lelouch, hit the bull.
Curveball and a good one. Big over top curve. And that is strikeout number 4 for Blackburn.
Well, I tell you what, I was talking with Scott Emerson, the pitching coach, right before the game, actually as Paulie was warming up, and he talked about Blackburn really wanting to get back to using that curveball, and we saw it, guys, we saw it earlier, and I mentioned it. He's been using that cutter up in the zone, fastball up in the zone, second time through. We've seen him go soft early with the breaking ball and put guys away with that breaking ball, all because of a change in eye level.
First pitch to Tyler Naquin is low. Hear that phrase a lot, change the eye level of the hitter.
And you're watching these hitters track that fastball up in the zone.
Should be an easy inning for Blackburn, as he needed 11 pitches to get it done. 3 up, 3 down inning. Explores fair play, the state of youth sports in America. Before they were major leaguers, players like this young man were simply kids being kids, playing all sorts of sports. Who is this? Will reveal his identity later in the inning. That's an easy one.
Sean Manass.
Look at that face.
Yeah, but what's he doing with the bat in his hand?
He's gonna hurt himself, Foss.
Right-handed.
Yeah.
Sean, put the bat down.
Yeah, that's right. Stick to pitching. Because the face, if that's not Sean Manass, I mean, he looks. I mean, just put today's picture right next to it. That it looks just like him, doesn't it? We're guessing the level. We're assuming. Insurance is a great thing to have, and the A's would like to get some because 1-0. It's a good score for the Athletics, but it'd be nice to add some more to it.
1-1 the count to Simeon with the RBI hit. Lucroy to follow, and then Barreto. Bottom of the 5th. Pitchers duel at the Coliseum. 95 on the inner half. Simeon fouls it back. 1-2. 69 pitches for Bauer. Barkus, Simeon.
Let's see what they did. I get it.
I like Ron Washington calling Marcus. Marcus. Wash. Braves are having a good year. Wash getting a lot of attention now.
Well deserved. Some of the best young talent in all of baseball. That is the Atlanta Braves. Alonso takes care of Marcus Simeon. So we're guessing just by the look that this is Sean Manaea. Doesn't look a whole lot different.
It really doesn't. Smiling even then.
Make sure you watch Fair Play Youth Sports in America tonight after A's post-game live presented by Geico. Terrific show. Don't miss it. Fair Play Youth Sports in America. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. And Lucroy takes inside.
Did you notice the one guy sitting on the bench we were showing Sean Manaea? His name was Brett Anderson. So Trevor Cahill, Brett Anderson. You see all the guys on the disabled list. They put on the uniform and the bench gets crowded.
Yep.
The clubhouse really crowded.
Yep.
So Steve Vucinich, Brian Davis, all the guys down in the clubhouse having to put out extra food. They may even put the September lockers up now. They usually expand in September for the call-ups. They put all the football lockers in the middle. They may put them up now. Anderson. I saw Trevor Cahill today. Dan Mingden was throwing. He said he's fine. He looked good.
Outside corner, 2-1 to Lucroy. Lots of starting pitchers on the disabled list for the A's.
Saw Matt Chapman on the bench also.
We get a chance to see Matt Chapman soon.
Yeah, there's two of them right there, Mingden and Chapman.
He may take some batting practice this weekend.
Matt Chapman, actually, he's got something else that he's had going on. Take a look at that upper lip there.
It's going to take a long time, though.
Yeah, the effort's there. I told him he might want to put some milk on that thing, let the cat lick it off, and start over.
He's got a long ways to go.
Yes, he does. I mean, he just does. I was questioning whether he even shaved. You know, he's got that fair skin, but he can play for third base.
Oh, buddy.
He can play third. He can hit. The best thing he is doing is getting well.
Yeah, and Foss, to that point, when you think about where we're at right now in the season, coming up on the break, you think about teams making an effort to make a push, acquiring talent in some areas that they might have identified that they need help in. You get a young stud like Matt Chapman back and plug him right in your lineup. You plug that power threat. You plug that defense in.
That is our favorite mustache.
My buddy on the right, I saw that thing 2 hours ago and said, I got to get that on TV. I need that in my life. Look at that. Yep.
Looks like a Snicker bar.
Almost looked like a paste on.
That is a big league, and I mean big league mustache. Yonder digs it out. So Lucroy is out. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
You know, you're talking about Matt Chapman. Well, there was a gentleman that returned to the active roster on the road named Ryan Buckner. And watching Buckner pitch a couple of times in Detroit. Hard throwing lefty out of the bullpen. So you already have Trinan closing it out with Trevino setting him up. Petit's doing a great job. Pagan pitched well in Detroit. I mean, all these guys are pitching, and now all of a sudden you added hard throwing lefty out of the bullpen. Hatcher, Garcia, they're all pitching extremely well. Jeremy Dowdle right in the middle, open catcher. But Dave Buckner is He's special, and he said it'd been a long time, 6-7 years before he even thought about disabled list and bad shoulder. And the one thing he said, I hate to take a day off, much less go on the disabled list.
Yeah, he was somebody, Foss, walking around here, just didn't know what to do with himself. Angry, upset, and frankly, you like to see that, in my opinion, with guys that find themselves in a position they're unfamiliar with. You like to see that anger, that desire to get back out and bring something to the ball club.
Definitely brought it in Detroit.
Barreto chases a pitch in the dirt, so Barreto strikes out for the second time. Bauer has a 3-up, 3-down inning. On to the 6th.
The next community sandlot style plastic bat and ball game. That's on Saturday, July the 7th from 9 to 11 a.m. at DeFremery Park, 1651 Adeline Street in Oakland. Anyone can come to play pickup style baseball alongside the A's street team, where the A's Goodies play ball, presented by Sutter Health, encourages the community to come together and celebrate the game of baseball. Learn more at athletics.com/community.
Top of the order for the Indians, so a good challenge inning for Paul Blackburn. And Lindor takes low, so 2-0. Lindor opened up the game with a base hit, and then he was thrown out trying to steal. And then in the 3rd inning, he popped out. Dangerous hitter, Francisco Lindor.
We look at the Indians lineup. Start at the top. Home run 19, 11, 23, 19, 12. Which means that when you have a 1-0 lead, one mistake, it's a tie game. They've got some pop at the top, and not to say the rest of them don't, but this might be the biggest play of the game for the Athletics right now. We'll hope that at the end we'll stay the same thing. It was daylight, sun in right field. Great throw by Jonathan Lucroy. Head first slide by Lindor. He went back to the dugout with his lip bleeding, as the knee of Marcus Semien looked like he got him in the lower lip.
Good curveball, and he gets Lindor swinging.
That's right, everybody. Let's welcome Uncle Charlie to the ball game. Blackburn drops that big deuce on Francisco Lindor, aggressive in the box. But again, we talked about Blackburn pitching backwards, going soft against this aggressive lineup here, starting to pay dividends 3rd time around.
So 1 out. Here's Brantley. Brantley hits it hard right to Barreto. Barreto to first, 2 away. $12 out of the last 13 retired by Paul Blackburn. 2-seam fastball. Lots of sliders. Been a good break. He's got a good breaking ball tonight.
Yeah.
Well, you see there between the two-seamer and the four-seamer, almost 40-40 split on the fastball slider combination. But you think about the movement that two-seamer adds. And again, we've seen him attack these lefties front hip. Jam these lefties, crowd them, chase them in with the cutter in underneath the hands.
Way inside, and Ramirez almost swung at it.
Well, what you like to see there is not only the way that Ramirez checked at that ball, Kite, to your point that he might have actually thought it was something he could handle, but again, moving the feet, not allowing these guys to get comfortable, settle in.
That is grounded just foul.
And the nice thing about what Paul Blackburn is doing right now is pitching the 6th inning.
Yeah.
And it looks like he is pitching better after the first couple of innings, and especially after his last start going 4+ innings and really struggling in the 5th. Not a strikeout pitcher, but he's got him tonight. He's got all his pitches working, which is great.
Well, he struck out 3 of the last 5.
That's a season high on the punch outs, and if he's able to work through 6 innings, that'll tie a season high that he completed here at home against Kansas City back in June.
First rehab start.
Yeah.
Joyce grabs it, and that's 7 in a row retired by Paul Blackburn. Bottom of the 6th coming up.
Five tomorrow. That's against the Cleveland Indians. 15,000 fans will receive a Dave Stewart starting lineup action figurine. Is presented by Ashby Lumber and Humboldt Redwood Company, complete with his trademark stare. Be sure to get your tickets for this special day honoring Stu. Athletics.com/tickets. Athletics.com/tickets. There it is, boy.
He's looking right at us.
Staring you down, man.
I tell you what, that stare is very, very real. For the folks who don't understand it or who have never been around it, for the batters that had to deal with it, I feel bad for you. That is a very real Stu stare.
But the amazing thing, nicest guy in the world.
Oh, man, isn't he?
Yeah.
A sweetheart of a gentleman.
Absolutely.
Great guy. I actually had the unbelievable opportunity, frankly, to sit down with Dave and with Sean Manaea after his no-hitter, talking about the good day at work we all had.
Fowler hustling, he almost beat it out. So here's some highlights from the Dave Stewart no-hitter, 1990 in Toronto.
Fly ball center field. Dave Henderson said, I got it. Got it. No hitter. Mac, Carney. It was the year they, Jay Alvis. He was pointing to me and saying, go over see that guy. He wants to interview you. That guy again.
Man.
the man.
Did I tell you, I cracked a little joke just giving Stu a hard time, and he gave me 2 good chuckles and then a quick shot that stare at me, and it's just like Stu, like I wanted to call my grandmother and say my last words, you know. Sorry.
Line drive in a right field for a base hit.
Boy, Maddox beating the shift, over the shift.
One out hit.
Yeah, that's a good cheer card. That's the stare. That's a legitimate stare.
Yeah.
But I think it's appropriate this weekend that the Cleveland Indians are down, because it was a guy who was a former catcher of the Managers Tribe at one time who decided he wanted to take on Dave Stewart on the mound.
No.
And he made the mistake of going to the mound and very quickly went to the ground. That was the manager, but Stu could handle anything. Stu was the type of pitcher that a catcher never had to leave us behind the plate. Normally try to protect the pitcher, you know, by going after the hitter if he's going to charge the mound. You just said, take off, good luck. Hope you have a nice ending, because guess what's waiting for you. Yeah. Stu could handle anything he wanted. It's Ryan Buchter, the A's lefty, out of the bullpen. And the way he's getting loose down there, it's one of those just in case type things. And see what happens. Batter to batter.
2 to Lowry, who disagrees with the call, and he's chewing on Lance Barrett just a little bit.
Backdoor breaking ball, and he'll be graded at 100% on that one. There's your double ear flag. Congratulations, Steve Vucinich, getting the great color for the Friday night. Great uniform tops the A's are wearing. Match the helmets to the colors. By the way, Kai, did you see that note about how the shoes?
I did see that. Yeah.
There is the month of June, the 1st to 14th. He went from what, May the 11th to this month without hitting a home run. We talk about Chris Davis. Heck, he went about a month and a half to Jed Lowry, but he's been swinging the bat extremely well. That road trip, it seemed like every game in Detroit, except for yesterday's game, was won by Jed.
Yeah, you're right.
Driving in the runs, a go-ahead run.
Had 4 game-winning RBIs on the road trip.
And the first game in San Diego, the start of the road trip.
Swings and misses at that one. Joyce takes off, so heads up base running by Matt Joyce. Pitch was in the dirt, but not way far away from Perez, but Joyce took off immediately.
Well, he reads that BID, that ball in dirt, that down angle from Matt Joyce. Saw that breaking ball down, and he doesn't waste any time. Obviously, Jed coming up a little short here, but you watch Perez kick his legs out, and Matt Joyce, you see here, before that ball even hits the dirt, Matt Joyce has made the decision. I'm breaking here, get myself in scoring position. 2 outs, KD up. Let's see if we can get something cooking.
So the A's got a 2-out RBI hit in the second. And they need another one here in the 6th to extend their lead as Chris Davis steps up. Davis has grounded out and he has walked. 90 pitches for Bauer. Curveball is lined to left. And that'll go off the wall. It'll score Joyce easily. Davis in the second. He's got an RBI double. And the A's have a 2-0 lead.
Now Marcus Semien with a 2-out hanging curveball for a base hit to plate the first run with 2 outs, and KD does the same thing. Don't make a mistake. To Chris Davis, he did, got the ball up. KD hit it so hard, did not have a chance to hook foul, and Matt Joyce alertly going to second, scores easily on the double by Chris Davis. That's a big hit. 2 in this game, both coming with 2 outs.
So RBI number 54 for Chris Davis, and here's Matt Olson.
Now you combine the pitching of Paul Blackburn, what he has done for 6 solid innings. Ryan Buchter getting loose because in the inning coming up will be Encarnacion, then lefty, lefty, lefty. Following
a bunch of lefties in there. Well, they got some switch hitters as well.
But 3 lefties following Encarnacion, so Blackburn, it might be a 1-batter appearance in the 7th inning. We shall see. This big RBI by Chris Davis helps tremendously, so it's not the possibility of I mean, if he gets the first out, it may be batter to batter, depending on what the skipper decides. Kipnis in shallow right field, the second baseman. There's your overshift.
0-2 to Olson.
How about a Giolito base hit right to the shortstop?
That's right.
He did that in Chicago against the White Sox. First inning after 2 outs, couple of walks, and then Matt Olson with a fastball running away took it to left field, the shift to the right side.
Stays high. So 2-2 make it 1-2 to Olson.
But that's a note for you right there. 159 runs batted in with 2 outs this season. 2 out knocks, the best there is in the game.
In the dirt. So 2-2 to Matt Olson. Piscotty would be next. Mariners leading the Royals 3-0 in the 6th inning. Fastball in the inner half, and Olson swings and misses, but the A's get an insurance run. RBI by Chris Davis. 2-0 Athletics. Hall of Famer Bob Feller served in the U.S. Navy during World War II. Pitched 18 seasons in the big leagues, all with the Indians, an All-Star 8 times. Won the World Series in 1948. 266 career wins. 2,581 career strikeouts, 44 shutouts. On and on. Bob Feller, terrific.
USS Alabama dry docked back, I think, in Baltimore. His bunk is still there. And if you're ever in Cleveland, go by, I guess it's called Progressive Field now. Their new stadium in downtown Cleveland. Bobby DiBiasio went to Van Meter, Iowa, after Bob Feller passed away in November 2010. Took a lot of his memorabilia, brought it over to Cleveland, and there is a chronological wall, basically, of the great Bob Feller and his great career.
Worth a look.
Absolutely. It is a tremendous, tremendous piece.
1-2 now to Edwin Encarnacion. Alonso to follow, and then Chisenhall with Buchter ready out in the bullpen. 95 pitches for Blackburn. That is the most he has thrown this year. Curveball popped up. Olson hustling over. Couldn't get it.
The only pitcher in the history of baseball to pitch a no-hitter on opening day.
He was a teenager when he got to the big leagues, was he not?
Yeah.
youngster.
Beat the motorcycle. That's before they had radar guns. And this is when they used to warm up in front of the dugouts. That's a great shot. I did that one time when I first saw it. I said, this is strange, man, warming up a pitcher in front of the dugout.
Encarnacion did not go. 1948, that's the last time the Indians won the World Series, so they have that. They have the drought.
See, Encarnacion following Beltre. Point. And so did Jonathan Lucroy, and so did the umpire.
2-2 pitch. Olsen may have a play on this one. He's got it. Big out there. Anytime you get Encarnacion, who's now 0 for 3.
It's going to be an ovation for this young man from the Bay Area up in the great country. A little pat on the back by Jonathan Lucroy. What a performance by Paul Blackburn.
So 6 1/3 innings. Didn't give up anything to the Indians, and he will leave. So terrific performance by Paul Blackburn. Buckner coming in to face Alonso with the A's leading it 2-0.
First hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So the A's leading 2-0. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. As Buckner comes in to face yonder Alonso. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your trusted oil change tune-up and smog expert. So Buckner 2-0 with a 2.31 ERA. Great to have him back.
And you know the one thing about him, Paul Blackburn did a great job. 6 1/3, just 3 hits. But Buckner is just, here you come. He just rears back, and especially he's got a couple of lefties. Alonso Chisenhall looks like they're going to pinch hit for him.
Yeah, Geyer is in the on-deck circle, and Geyer a right-handed hitter.
Great job of Paul Blackburn. 5 strikeouts. The 3 hits came, 1 in the first inning. Jonathan Lucroy threw him out, then 2 in the second inning, got a double play. And that's it, just a walk the rest of the way.
Two pitch runs off the plate, 93 miles an hour. Indians bullpen is quiet.
Breaking ball, throw it hard. Maybe.
In the dirt. Three hits for the Indians, 4 hits for the A's. A pair of 2-out RBI hits for the Athletics, the difference in the game.
So the iPad that Frankie Lindor had was the pitching delivery of Ryan Buckner. That's the only things on those iPads, something new for the hitters that they can actually watch. The video coordinator downloads the pitching mechanics of a certain pitcher.
A Alonso lays off. Pretty good pitch by Buchter and a pretty good take by Alonso.
Well, it was a slider and very good take by Alonso. See a lot of guys, even right-handers, to swing at that.
So it's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. And this one's popped up. So good fastball got in a little bit on Alonso. Simeon grabs it. So 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. And it was going to be Geyer, and now Geyer is going to be called back. Looks like it's Rajai Davis.
Yeah. You know, Geyer might have been because of the power, more of a possible 2-run home run had Alonso reached. There's a guy coming up with a big hit in the World Series against the Cubs, Game 7, but none bigger than the man at the plate now, Rajai Davis. He's with the Athletics last year for the 2nd time.
Number 26.
They like the chances for Rajai here. 368. Righties are hitting against Buchter as opposed to 192 from the left side. Baseball obviously has become the game of matchups, the game of numbers.
First pitch to Raj Davis. So a couple of stints in Oakland and a couple of stints in Cleveland for Rajai Davis. 12th year in the big leagues. He's put together a pretty nice career. Good numbers here for the A's bullpen. 7th inning or later. 3rd best ERA in the American League. Well, the bullpen's been strong. Rajai fouls it back.
Yeah, I think to some time, and Dallas talked about the numbers lefties against Ryan Buchter, but I think there are times that a left-handed pitcher might see more right-handed hitters that could have as much, if not more, success. Of course, Ronald Chapman was left-handed when Rajai hit the big game-tying home run, Game 7 of the World Series.
And not that time. Buchter with the great fastball throws it right by Raj Davis. 7th inning stretch time from the Coliseum. 2-0 A's.
NBC Sports California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads, calling all adventurers, explorers, and thrill seekers. Become a member of Roaring Camp's new Kids Club today.
Treehouse looking good tonight. First game of this 5-game homestand. And a good start so far. 2-0. A's looking for their 5th consecutive win. They've won 10 out of their last 12. And they're 6 games over 500. Rajay Davis stays in the game in center field. Tyler Naquin moves to right. Chisenhall is out. And Bauer's back out there sitting at 96 pitches. They're moving around a little bit out in the bullpen for the Indians, but nobody's thrown. Piscotty, Simeon, and Lucroy. Rays beat the Astros tonight 3-2 in Florida. Right field, and it is dropped. It's a fair ball. Piscotty to second with a double. It hits his helmet, rolls away, and Bauer alertly runs over to cover third. Otherwise, Piscotty was going to end up at third.
A little bit of that no man's land action for Stephen Piscotty out here. You see as the first base, right fielder, and second baseman all converge just inside the foul line. And a tremendous job, honestly, by Tony Randazzo to get over there in position. A heck of an effort. But really, this is about Piscotty here. Understands it's not going to be hit too deep, not too hard, but you know what? I can still hustle. That's street legal. And he finds himself on second base, almost took third on the carry.
Almost had a little defensive interference too as he tried to go to third, but maybe that helped him because with Bauer covering, probably would have been out. Better to stay at second. Hustle double. Here he hit the pop up in Detroit and didn't run. And so maybe just remembered that and said, I don't want to take any chances. No high sky and a sunshiny night or day. This is a beautiful night, but he hustled and got to second base, and that's very important, especially for the Athletics against this Tribe club.
1-1 to Marcus Simeon. So now the A's need to execute offensively and get another insurance run. With their bullpen and a 3-0 lead, feel pretty good.
Well, especially needing 6 outs and nobody up in the bullpen yet. We do not know if it's going to be Trevino and then Trinan, or if Booker goes back out to see what Terry Francona is going to do for, as Kipnis is the scheduled leadoff hitter in the 8th inning for the Tribe.
Pitch driven to center. Rajay Davis will play it on a hop. Piscotty stops at third, and the A's have first and third, nobody out. So a couple of balls, not necessarily hard hit, but the A's are in business.
That big overhead curveball from Bauer, and Simeon just got to touch him. That's all you got to do. Stay in the fight, kept the hands back, and Rajay knows he's not going to have a play on it. Tough read for Piscotty here. Does the best he can. Obviously no chance to score, but does get himself to third base here. An opportunity to score on a pass ball.
It's amazing how 2 different plays have happened with Piscotty and 2 different previous plays, and both have come in this inning. Oliver Perez getting heated quickly. Remember when Piscotty thought a ball was going to drop, turned out to be a double play. This time he got a little halfway. Probably should have kept running because he was going to be out anyway if the ball was caught by Rajay, but kind of in between. So Bauer a couple of times going up and into Jonathan Lucroy. Neither time has he been hit, but I would think that they're not that happy.
So 1-0 the count. Lucroy a line out and a ground out so far. Infield in. Simeon runs, and Perez will drop it. I don't know if he was going to throw it anyways, but the A's will take it. Second and third, nobody out.
You know, he came up probably he's going to fake a throw because neither second or short were covering. So Marcus, and perhaps because of that, I mean, head straight down all the way. And Jonathan Lucroy taking all the way. And Perez dropped the ball, but the middle infielders were positioned exactly like that, even on the stolen base.
One and one to Lucroy.
A big comeback on Detroit. One of the big contributors was Jonathan Lucroy, 2-run double, 3-run inning. That was after a mistake by Hicks at first base.
There's a strike. 1-2. Lucroy this year is 17 for 48 with runners in scoring position. That's a .354 average. Still a good man to have up. Got him swinging. Looked like maybe a slider.
Yeah.
Pull off the plate.
That's that slider off that back whip fastball. We talked about him throwing sort of a backdoor approach to Lucroy the pitch prior to this. Some good run on that two-seamer. And now he forces Lucroy to make a decision early. Creates an intersection on the outside part of the plate, and that's what gets him the swing and miss.
And the way Franklin Barreto's been flailing at the slider right now, he's just got to be patient enough to take any pitch that's outside and just try to go to right field. I don't know if they'll, if it's a pitch inside, it's going to be a mistake. And he has seen, especially his last at bat, 3 sliders, all of them out of the strike zone.
First pitch, good curve in there for a strike. So you get ahead with a big curveball. It'll set you up pretty well if you're the pitcher for the rest of the at bat.
Exactly.
First pitch strike off speed that's a wonderful thing for a pitcher.
Right, because he can go a couple of different ways now. Here he can stand him up with a fastball like he did against Lucroy and go back out to that slider down and away a couple times, or he could just turn it into a 2-strike approach right now.
Should do the latter.
Yep.
Good curve, and it's 0-2. So, in fairness to Barreto, these are 2 nasty pitches. Look how much that ball moves. It's like a Barry Zito curveball from the left side.
Now, once he flinched and buckled the knees, he was done. There in Chicago, he hit the 2 3-run home runs. One was on a changeup, one was on a breaking ball. A hanger from James Shields, the kind of a slider that hung. And here comes the chase slider, probably.
Bauer kicks and delivers, and he got him, and it was the slider, 84 miles an hour, very much like the pitch that he threw to Lucroy.
Yep.
So that is out number 2, and with the left-handed hitting Fowler coming up, that's going to be it for Bauer. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Is brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Xfinity, X1 will change the way you experience TV. By SoFi, a modern finance company. And by Cresco, your #1 choice for tool and equipment rental with 19 stores to serve you in Northern California.
So Mark Canha, the pinch hitter, works the walk. Actually, it was intentional. So, interesting. The Indians bring the veteran Oliver Perez in to face Fowler, the lefty. Canha hits for Fowler. They walk Canha. And now it's Matt Joyce's turn to hit. It's going to be Pinder. So, the wheels are turning.
And here comes Terry Francona. Has he been announced? Yes, he has. All right. And I think it probably...
Solid outing for Oliver Perez.
How many pitches did he throw? 8 in the warm-ups.
How many times has that happened in Major League Baseball history? He faced a batter, but didn't throw any pitches. Good job, Oliver. A bit.
Slow it down then. A's baseball and fireworks aboard the house of July the 4th with the A's. Tuesday, it's free. July 3rd, fireworks after our 6:05 game against the Padres. It's brought to you by Chevrolet. Here's what you really have to do. Write this down. Athletics.com/boom. That's right, boom. In honor of the Bay's best fireworks. Hey, you know what the Indians are doing? They're going to Kansas City from here. They're going to have a 4th of July night game on getaway for 4th of July fireworks.
In Kansas City?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Royals.
I bet that's just a short flight from Kansas City to Cleveland. Meanwhile, back in Oakland, McAllister faces Chad Pinder.
And the first pitch, a swinging strike.
Kemp, I think you said it best. I don't remember ever in a history game that a pitcher comes in, faces one batter, doesn't throw one pitch. He threw 8 warm-up tosses on the mound and got loose in the bullpen.
That is something.
It's really setting the bar for the lefties coming in to get one guy, huh?
The ultimate situational move. 95, and now it's 0-2.
Yeah. You know, actually, what happened with Perez kind of deflected Bauer's real intention. He was upset. I mean, he strikes out 2 after putting runners in second and third. And, you know, it's a tough job of managing. You have to manage for W's. And, you know, you like to keep a guy in, but Bauer gives up a base hit. It's a 4-0 game, and Terry Francona trying to keep it at 2. And Bauer, pitch count perhaps got him, but did not look like he was very happy to be taken out of the game. But that's why managers are able to do what they do. And
tell you what, I'd rather have that than have a guy be in a hurry to get off the mound.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a few of those out there,
Oh,
too.
yeah. Look at the ball come and help me.
And a pretty good job by McAllister. So the A's at second and third, nobody out, but they do not score. 8th inning coming up, 2-0 A's. series against the first place Cleveland Indians. Buchter stays out there to face Kipnis. Pinch hitter has come out in the on-deck circle. That's Jan Gomes. There's a right-handed hitter, so we'll see some of the moves that will be made. Pinder stays in left. Canna stays in center, so they both pinch hit. Kipnis is 1 for 2. Swing and a miss. Good fastball. Kipnis was late. Foul late again, and it's 1-2. Big series in New York this weekend. The Yankees beat the Red Sox 8-1 in the first of that series. So with that win, the Yankees now tie the Red Sox for first place. So that's going to be a fun weekend series, and you know they're going to battle all year long for the top spot in that AL East. Bounced fair. Olsen has it. Steps on the bag. Kipnis flips his bat. Mike Trout back. At least back out in center field, and he hit a home run. His 24th. The Angels won 7-1. Aaron Judge hit a home run in that Yankees win, and the Rangers have been playing good baseball the last couple weeks. Nomar Mazara with a 3-run homer.
Your attention, please. Number 7, Jan Gomes.
So here's Jan Gomes. But you think about that, you get two. You get the Yankees and the Red Sox, Ray. Red Sox, I mean, they have 2 of the best 3 records in all of baseball. One of those 2 teams is going to be playing a wild card game. Think about that.
That's right. and you know they could be playing the team that's ahead of them, because the wild card play the team with the best record regardless of the division now.
Well, I'm saying they're going to have to play the wild card game.
The game, right?
Yeah.
The game, right?
They're going to have to get out of the wild card game.
And that's a tough spot to be in when you think about the potential opponents.
Yeah.
You know, that one game, you like your chances over the course of a 5-game series.
That's
but
right.
in the game of baseball, it takes one guy to have one good day on the mound.
It's easier. It's a lot easier to win a 5-game series if you're the better team than it is to win that one game.
I would not want to be having the best record and have to face a wild card team, especially if it's somebody like that.
And Dallas, Ray and I have agreed on this for many years now, and I see how you feel about it. The team that wins that wild card is the most relaxed team in the whole group.
Well, it's a done deal after that, right?
Because now you got past that scary game.
Right.
And obviously you're a good team and you got there, and now you're going to go into this division series. But I mean, you have to be just kind of, you have to be a little more relaxed. I mean, hey, you're in there. You won that 1-game playoff game. Now you're going into a series. Jan Gomes, the pinch hitter, ropes one to left. Pinder cuts it off. Pinder with the great throw, and it's just a little bit late, and Gomes has a double. Pinder's arm is something. Strong and accurate.
Well, the hard fastball thrown by Buchter this time. I'll tell you, that was a strong arm. A little bit, if it's, if Moretto gets on the bag, Bob Melvin's coming out now, but you're right, his strong throw. Moretto's kind of in front of the bag and then reaching back. Feet first slide. Gomes would have gotten there, but.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming into pitch for the Athletics.
pitches, and Paul Blackburn hit in the first inning, caught stealing. 2 hits in the second inning, double play. From that point on, it was outstanding pitching from the A's right-hander, using both sides of the plate, using all of his pitches. Ended up with 5 strikeouts and did an outstanding job. Comes out after facing 1 batter, Encarnacion, in the 7th inning, trying to hang on to get the victory.
So here's Brandon Geyer, the pinch hitter, facing the new pitcher, Yusmeiro Petit. There's a line shot right into the glove of Lowry. 2 outs. Thank you. Geyer did not wait around.
No. They got a breaking ball, actually fastball, and first pitch hitting, 1 pitch out. Take it, especially since it was hit right to Jed Lowry, not a base hit to left field.
So here's the leadoff man, Francisco Lindor.
Good bubble gum for Terry Francona. He's got his routine. He has his seeds and has some bubble gum.
He's going for the good luck bubble gum. Lindor takes low. 1 for 3 for Francisco Lindor.
Well, Jed Lowry, of course, playing a lot at second base with Matt Chapman going to the disabled list. Volunteered. He said, I'll take third base. And then you go from second, where you can play on the outfield grass, to third base inside, or actually even with a bag. A little bit different.
So 1-1 to Lindor. He's got 19 home runs on the year. Just a little bit outside. Close pitch.
We talked about that zone loosening up a little as the game has gone on. This is Lucroy here, just trying to take advantage of, frankly, what was a Paul Blackburn executing to both sides all night.
Another take. So now it's 3-1. Be careful here. Michael Brantley is the on-deck hitter. Neil Ramirez, the right-hander, is throwing in the Indians bullpen. 3-1 pitch and a mighty swing by Lindor, and he fouled it back. 2-2 record for Petit with a 3.72 ERA. A workhorse as expected. This is his 38th appearance. That leads all of the A's relievers. Three-two pitch, foul back. They have swung at a ball.
Well, it seems like, in the way the outfield is shading Lindor more to left field, it looks like they're trying to pitch him away. Lindor not take a chance with a pitch that he can pull for his 20th home run and tie the game. Don't say it. Tip your hat if he hits it out the other way.
So another 3-2. Gomes at second. Petit kicks and deals. And that one's driven to center. Canna's back. Canna is going to play it off the base of the wall. 1 run scores. Lindor to second with a double, and it's 2-1. I'm just glad it stayed in the park, because I thought it was leaving. Hit right at the base of the wall.
Well, he did reach out and fortunately went to the deepest part of the park, pulled it a little bit enough away from Mark Canna. He could not get to the ball. Mark has made some unbelievable catches. This one, he just could not get to it to be able to make an outstanding play.
So Lindor gets his 45th RBI.
And you know why this inning is so important? Because the A's had second and third last inning and didn't score. Nobody out. We have seen it all too often this year when that has happened.
Here's Brantley. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Brantley 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice, and he has struck out. It's a foul ball left side. So Petit jumps ahead 0-2. That run charged to Booker. So he gives up a run in 1 inning.
Let's not forget when Yasmiro Petit signed a 2-year contract with the A's. One of the things, the workhorse with the Angels, saw him most recently, but a lot of times entered a game to not give up an inherited run. This time he does, and now trying to stay away from a base hit. His own run at second.
1-2 pitch blocked nicely by Lucroy. Keeps it in front.
Well, and it's a big block because it does keep the runner at second. Hard breaking ball. He anticipated it, got in front, smothered it, or absorbed it, as he says, and did a good job keeping it in front of it.
So 1-2. Brantley swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. Lucroy fires to first. It's low, and Olsen digs it out. So the Indians get a run. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Dealers 1-5-1 for the Indians, 2-6-0 for the Athletics. Good ball game tonight. Trevor Bauer was good. Paul Blackburn was better. Paul Blackburn 6 innings, just a walk, 5 strikeouts, and just 3 hits. So A's 3 outs away from their 5th consecutive win. So Trinan going over who he's going to face, and he's going to face Ramirez, Encarnacion, and Alonso. So 3 good hitters. Zach McAllister stays out there for the Indians. He'll face Lowry, Davis, and Olsen. First pitch, swing and a miss. The Mariners are in the 9th. They're trying to wrap it up. They lead 4-0 over the Kansas City Royals. Crowd tonight here at the Coliseum, 14,823. Right on the outside corner, and it's quickly 0-2, 95 miles an hour. Bauer, Perez, McAllister, the 3 pitchers used by the Indians. Drive to right. Geyer leaps, and that baby is gone. Drops right on top of the out-of-town scoreboard, and the A's grab that run right back.
Wow.
So number 14 for Lowry.
Back at it again, and they're going to take a look at it. The way Jed was running almost looked like he thought it had love touch, but it was not going to make it. It's a home run.
Just over the yellow
Just
line.
over the line, yeah. Just
Bounced
over
off
enough.
Oakland A's Green Friday side. That ledge, as we've told you before, it's probably what, Ray? A couple feet wide.
Yeah, yeah. And all it has to do is get up on top, and great angle shown. The last one, the side shot, side angle, and crew chief review. And this is the one that really shows it. Watch where it lands, just over the wall, and did not take that long to say home run. So Jed Lowry, we mentioned, May the 11th. He hit his 9th home run tonight. Just hit his 14th. 5 in the month of June. This is the 29th. So nice going. That's a huge run. A huge run for Blake Trinan, who's loose in the bullpen.
A's have done such a good job this year of scoring runs late, whether they're ahead or behind.
That's a great point. A great point.
Right on the outside corner, 1-1 to Chris Davis.
And this is just a fastball. That arm side run really is the factor here. This thing creeps back over the heart of the plate, and you saw Jed Lowry back leg that bad boy. Strong on the backside, finished high. Poetic.
0-2 pitch, I believe.
Yes, it was. 0-2 fastball. Tried to get inside. It did run back just a little bit, but Jed jumped on it. Maybe happy to see a fastball. He's seeing a lot of breaking pitches tonight, mostly from Bauer.
Shot into left field, a base hit. So Chris Davis, a single, a double, and a walk. So good night for Chris.
Another elevated pitch. You pitch up in the zone like that, you're going to get hurt fast. And Chris Davis jumped on it, as he did with the hanging breaking ball his last at bat.
Gary Francona's coming out. And Dan Otero's coming in. So Otero's going to face Olsen when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Told you, a big home run by Jed Lowry. His 14th of the season, a huge one right here. This coming in the bottom of the 8th inning, with the A's giving up a run in the top of the inning, a 1-run game, 2-1 lead. But Jed just made it 2 runs again as McAllister, who struck out the pinch hitter Pender. So the base is loaded. First batter he faces gives up a home run. Second batter a single as Dan Otero comes in.
Otero, very high ERA, so Terry's had a couple good seasons with the Indians, but not having a good season this year. The Indians bullpen, which last couple of years, maybe the best in baseball, but this year been better lately, but it has just been not the strength of the team, which I think going into the season they thought that it would be. Andrew Miller is on the disabled list. Miller has a right knee that bothered him last year. They're just taking their time with Miller to make sure he's okay.
And they have a big enough lead they can afford to do it. You know, that's the big thing for them.
But it's bullpens are a finicky group, because you can think that they're going to be the strength of your team, and all of a sudden they're not, or vice versa. Last year, 2.89 ERA, that was the best in the major leagues. This year, 5.13, third highest. And again, it's been a little bit better lately, but still just not the same success. And they lost a couple guys. Remember Brian Shaw, who is really not pitching very well for the Rockies, who signed, but he was really good for the Indians.
The cutter master.
Yeah.
That's Cody Allen looking at the iPad down in the bullpen, their closer.
Yeah, they got Joe Smith. Traded for him. He's gone. But it's really all around Cody Allen, the closer, and Andrew Miller. And Allen is healthy. He's got 16 saves, but Miller on the disabled list. Alonso has it. He's going to fire a second for one. Back to first. Double play. Ooh, close play at first.
Yeah, Bob Melvin's going to take a look at that one. Adam Roden up in the video room.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. Looks like it might have made its way back to the webbing before Ole had the foot down.
But the difference here, though, it's a pitcher's glove versus a first baseman's mitt.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe it doesn't have to go in as far. That's with their Otero covering. But it is the bottom of the 8th inning. A's with a 2-run lead. Chance to at least put a runner on base. Well, check the heel. The heel is the key. Because if the heel hits the bag, the top of the foot.
That's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah. It will not be as fast as the home run by Jed Lowry was. I bet they. I bet it's uphill.
Yeah, I just don't know that there's enough to turn it over, and this is kind of what happens. Yep.
Yeah, and you know whether it's the heel hitting the bag, but the ball arrived at the same time. And again, the difference: first baseman's mitt, it's deeper, and a fielder's glove or a pitcher's glove, it's not as deep. Sure. And maybe that was just enough. But Alonso.
Guys, let's take a gander at what StatCast have for us on that Jed Lowry long ball. 97.2 off the crack of the bat, 28-degree launch angle, 380 feet away from home plate. Jed Lowry and the Oakland A's will take that little insurance run, no doubt about it.
So here's Piscotty, who is 1 for 3. Had the bloop double in the 7th inning. So 9th inning, it'll be Ramirez, Encarnacion, Alonso for Blake Trinan.
Petit came in the 8th inning, and I always think about Trevino. But yesterday he pitched an inning. The day before he was the closer. I was trying to have the day off. So he pitched back-to-back games, and you know sometimes as a manager, the whole thing goes. You don't want to kill him in July, April, May, June. Not have them available late. Sure. And you know, it's a tough decision to make, but the A's are fortunate to have so many different guys they can turn to. There's Luke Trevino to the right, Josh Lucas to the left, and
especially if it's a young guy like Trevino, who's in the big leagues for the first time. Two and two to Piscotty. side. A's looking for their 45th win of the year. The Astros lost. The Angels won. And the Mariners just won. Right to Lindor. A's gonna run. Jed Lowry with his 14th home run of the year, and it's a big insurance run. 9th inning coming up. A's leading the Indians 3-1. As the A's get the home run from Lowry to extend the lead, and now they bring out their, if there's such thing as a hot closer, Trinan's hot.
Well, he's not automatic, but he's as close to automatic as we have seen in a while. He's had a guy that's in the Hall of Fame named Dennis Eckersley. He was Mr. Automatic, but I think Trinan is getting there.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog expert. 20 for 22 for Trinan save opportunities. He's converted each of his last 17. Ramirez went around 98 miles an hour.
And when you use the word effortless, that is Blake Trinan at his best, because he is effortless.
Ramirez is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning. And that one is lined to right field and a base hit on an 0-2 pitch, 99 miles an hour, but it was like on the inner half, but obviously not where Trinan wanted it.
Well, it didn't go down. It stayed up, and even at that velocity, good hitters can do exactly what Ramirez did, and he's one of the best in the game.
So here's Encarnacion. This will be a fun matchup to watch. Encarnacion is 0 for 3.
One of those turbo sinkers into the ground for a double play.
First pitch is outside. So the Mariners beat the Royals 4-1. They got a complete game from Marco Gonzalez. Gonzalez has got 8 wins this year for the Mariners. So with the Mariners winning, Astros losing, the Mariners 2.5 back now of Houston. And that one's driven to center. Canna, just enough room, and he makes the catch, and Encarnacion can't believe it.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wow. Well, let me tell you a little story about the Marine layer, Edwin. Welcome to the Bay, baby. He absolutely got into this ball, boys. But Mark Canna tracking it down out in center field. That cool air out here in the East Bay, playing its role as the 10th man. Edwin, go ahead and keep that parrot in the cage, pal. Not today.
Fortunately, hit it the right direction and kept it in the yard.
So here's Yonder Alonso. First pitch to Alonso. Foul straight back. 97 miles an hour. Rajay Davis is the on-deck hitter.
And this is the big hitter for the A's. The bad part for Blake Trinan, who is either a strikeout or a ground ball pitcher, 2 balls hit hard in the air. 1 base hit.
Yonder is not happy with Lance Barrett. He thought the pitch was low, and he turned around and immediately went back to talk to Barrett. You don't see hitters do that very often.
They stay in the game.
It's a strike.
Well, it's an unhittable pitch, and that's probably, but you know, it's
so the count 0-2. And Alonso swings at a pitch in the dirt. And that's the second out here in the 9th inning.
Tell you what, all you need to know, or all you need to see, is the reaction from some of these hitters after the fact to let you know just how absolutely filthy Blake Trinan is. A 96-mile-an-hour super sinker backed up by a 90-mile-an-hour plus absolute wipeout slide ball. No chance.
So here's Rajay Davis with 2 outs. Ramirez at first. First pitch to Davis is low.
I would think for Rajay Davis, every time he goes to the plate, every time he has gone to the plate since the miraculous home run Game 7 of the World Series, he's got to be thinking. I mean, he's not a big home run hitter either. He just happened to drop the head on a heavy-duty fastball.
Choked up a little bit.
Yeah, and really the difference here, Robles Chapman, while he throws 100 miles an hour, is pretty straight. And Blake Trinan, the beauty of his fastball is that it does sink.
Two-0 pitch to Davis. That's outside. So now it's 3-0. Kipnis is the on-deck hitter. Jason Kipnis. So Trinan. This is the guy you got to get here, Raj Davis. And he misses badly. So a 4-pitch walk to Raj Davis. 2 on, 2 out for Kipnis. It's just a second walk in the game by A's pitchers. Been Blackburn, Buchter, Petit, Trinan.
Now batting, number 22, Jason Kipnis.
Blackburn went 6 1/3. Trinan trying to save it for Blackburn. So Kipnis steps in. He's 1 for 3. Single strikeout, ground out. He's got 7 home runs on the year. Outfield deep. First pitch to Kipnis is a strike. He didn't like it.
Well, it's down in the lower part of the strike zone, and because it is thrown so hard, hitters have to realize that if they do make contact with the ball, they're going to beat it in the ground. They want to be able to get under the pitch, but it's thrown so hard and it sinks so much, it's hard to do that.
Kipnis takes inside. Remember the trail runner is Rajay Davis. Yep. We don't want that to come into play. Canna just a shade into left center field. Piscotty pretty deep in right. 1-1 pitch is a little bit high. Kipnis almost went around. So tense moments here in the 9th inning at the Coliseum. Two-one pitch is hit very high to right field. It's going to stay in the ballpark. Piscotty waits. Piscotty's got it, and the A's win it. Trinan gets his 21st save. Blackburn gets his 2nd win of the year, and the Oakland A's stay hot. They have won 5 in a row, and they have won 11 out of their last 13. So they're playing well, Ray, and they got to ride it out now.
Well, if you could get the kind of save out of Blake Trinan whenever he gets a couple of balls hit hard in the air, one missed, obviously by Encarnacion, but even the Kipnis ball, he just hit it straight up. Hit it well, but that's when you're going well. You have the turbo sinker working, and you get a couple of big hits, actually 3 big hits, including Jed Lowry's and a couple of breaking balls.
2 hours and 50 minutes was your time of game. The attendance 14,823. Final score tonight in game 1 of the series, the Athletics over the Indians 3-1. Time now for A's post-game live. Here's Brody Brazil.